Hello and welcome to Matt Loves Eurovision. It's my Eurovision 2023 top 37 countdown. It's place number 3. It's Portugal, Mimicat, coração. Please do click the subscribe button, ring that notification bell, and like, share and comment below. The link to the music video is in the description, as is the link to my blog post. So it took Portugal 50 years to get their first win at Eurovision. That was, of course, in 2017. But they've not rested on their laurels. They've had 2 impressive results in the last couple of years. And in my own pre-Eurovision countdowns, I've had them in the top 10 last year. And also in 2019, they were in the same position as this year, the bronze medal 3rd place. This year it is Mimicat representing Portugal. So can she keep their good results going? Now, Mimicat, whose real name is Marisa Mena, she won Portugal's national final this year, which was actually over 20 years after her previous attempt. So as a 16-year-old and under the name Isamina, she entered the Festival da Canção in 2001, but she didn't get past the semi-finals that year. Happily, she had no such trouble this time, and we have a very Portuguese song, Ai Coração, in the contest. It's a real vibrant song, very reminiscent of big musical numbers. She is the co-writer, Mimicat is the co-writer of the song, and it's all about that kind of, well, I suppose it could be the giddiness of falling in love, or fancying someone, or maybe someone you can't even have, but it's because Ai Coração is oh heart, and it's about all of those strong emotions that you feel when you're feeling so either in love or wanting something so much. It's very up-tempo, it has a very Portuguese, Iberian sound as well. And unlike the last 2 Portuguese entries, it's purely in Portuguese, no English at all. Now, this is a song to make my own coração sing. It's so fun and obviously vibrant, it's distinct from any other country's entry. And while the dancers and the choreography are a lot of fun, it's Mimicat who is really the star of the show. Her vocals are never less than great. I remember at, I think it was the Madrid pre-party, quite a few of the artists were having problems with in-ears or just generally sound problems, which is not uncommon in the pre-parties. But then she sort of came in the midst of all that and then absolutely blasted away with an amazing vocal. So they're never less than great. And she really gets to show her ability off. There's an amazing long note towards the end of the song that really shows that off. She's so engaging as a performer as well, because she really connects with the camera well and with the audience. And she just seems like she's having just a whale of a time. There's kind of a nice sultry bridge in the song, and then that goes on to that big long note that I've talked about, and then kind of final big flourish at the end, which is very Chicago or musical theatre. Now, it amazes me, I have to say, that people can watch this and not have a smile on their face by the time you get to, especially with that ending. It's just such a flourish. But I've known a couple of people in kind of my wider Eurovision circle that haven't liked it at all. They really dislike it. So I struggle to kind of understand. But in my closer Eurovision group, more of us like it than not, and some of us really like it a lot. So I take some comfort from that, actually, given that quite a lot of people like my Eurovision group will be watching. Now, I have to say, qualification probably isn't assured. I mean, it is in the very tough semi-final one. There's lots of very good songs, and it's probably in that sort of group of songs which are sort of slightly near the boundary. There's sort of, it's that sort of 4, 5, probably about 4 songs which possibly could go either way. She's 5th in the running order, which isn't ideal, although it could be worse. But she does have, it is a unique genre. And she sits between 2 indie rock songs. So she sits between Latvia, which is a slightly slower rock song, and then of course Ireland, which is more up-tempo, but it's a completely different different genre. Staging, from what I've seen, is quite stripped back, but it seems classy. I don't think they've had an awful lot of money for the staging this year. but I think the success will rest more on Mimicat's shoulders. I think she's good enough to carry that, so I'm going to keep my fingers crossed that she'll not befall the fate. Excuse me, hay fever again. But that she won't befall the fate of my last Portuguese entry that I put in 3rd place in my countdown, and that was, of course, Coração and Tell My Voice, which failed to make the vinyl, though that was more niche and more unusual and less accessible than I think this burst of Iberian musical theatre. So I'm going to be cheering her on in just a few days' time, and I really would hope to see Portugal back in the final again, which would be, I think, for the 3rd year in a row. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comments as always, and we'll be back soon when we come into my top 2. Take care for now. Bye bye.